All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the weekly Weekend QNA here. Ask.fm/geekdom101 is where you can ask me questions about anything. But of course, like I say every week, most of my questions are about Dragon Ball. Now, earlier this week, I did drop that bonus 1 hour Q&A with Hail Zeon. First of all, I want to apologize on behalf of myself for Hail Zeon if anybody was offended at that Q&A, especially with what Hail Zeon said. It was just very, very wacky, very, very adult humor, very mature humor. So if there are any children out there, I do apologize for that. This is going to be a relatively PG Q&A here. Now, what I'm going to do with this Q&A, this weekend Q&A, is rather than start at the bottom this time, I'm going to just pick random questions. I'm just going to answer them randomly. I won't be doing that every week because I want to go in order from the oldest to newest. But this time, I do want to do it. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and get right to the questions. Couldn't they do this from Charlie Wheat? Couldn't they do a filler-free release of Dragon Ball Z instead of remaking it with the same animation with a higher frame rate and speeding up the pace of the story? Well, it's kind of late right now for that. We know with Kai already being done, maybe that would have been an idea back when they were first producing Kai. But really, it's not. I mean, that's kind of what Kai is. It's not really a remake. They touched up on some scenes. They up-converted it to HD. They kind of had to do that. They couldn't just release Dragon Ball Z again in 2009 or whatever. They couldn't do it again and have it look like it did in the 90s. They had to make it modern. Why would somebody pay for old animation that's changed over again? You want to do something new and something different. So that's what they did with Kai. All right, let's go down and find some random questions here. How strong is Gohan in Dragon Ball Z Revival of F? Not very strong, considering that he got one-shotted by First Form Frieza. And yes, I know that First Form Frieza is much more powerful in Dragon Ball Z Revival of F, but it still seems a little unrealistic that after getting his power unlocked by the old Kai, that he get treated like that. I mean, I don't know how somebody can get so weak in just a few years, but that's what happened. I mean, I would say he's probably the strongest Z fighter with the exception of Goku and Vegeta. I mean, I can't think of anybody else who would even be close. That would be it. I do think that in this film, though, and this is going to be a topic of debate, so I might want some comments here about this one in the comment section below. I think that he actually is stronger than Gotenks. I'm sorry, weaker. He's weaker than Gotenks in Revival of F. My opinion. How strong would a regular person be if they had their powers unlocked by old Kai? Difficult to tell. I guess it depends on the person and maybe their health. Are you kind of insinuating that all people are the same? I mean, I don't know. It's impossible to answer that question. End of Z, Tien versus Goten. We don't really see Tien at the end of Z, but I'm going to assume that he's going to win because Tien's always trained, always trained, and Goten seems to have slacked off in the 10-year gap. But he was also training with Goku at the end of the series. So you know what? Change my mind. I think Goten would edge it out just based on power. Okay. Favorite to least favorite saga in DBZ. Now you said DBZ, so we're going to talk about just Dragon Ball Z. My favorite is the Cell arc. My second favorite is the Vegeta Saga, the first arc. My third favorite is Frieza, and my fourth is Buu. And that's not saying that I don't like Frieza or Buu. It's just that I like the Vegeta and the Cell Saga the most. What DBZ movie characters you wanted for them to be canon? None. I've already answered that. I don't care about canon that much. I'm still getting over a cold, guys, so excuse me. Niggas be getting mad, but we just getting money. I can be your boo thing, not your hubby. I'm sure you can. Alright, let's keep going here. What's the smartest thing Goku's done? I have to think about it, but honestly, I would say the smartest thing he did is, in my opinion, again, I might need some comments from you guys in the comment section. Give me your thoughts. I think Goku and his ability to unlock full SSJ in the Room of Spirit and Time with Gohan, I think that is the smartest thing he's done because even Vegeta was surprised. He figured it out, but even he was surprised that Goku was able to do that. So I think that's the smartest thing Goku's ever done, is figure that out. My opinion, of course. Do you think the new Star Wars movie will show a whole new side of the Force we have never seen before from Tyrone Magnus? That's not the real Tyrone Magnus. I think, yes, I think the Force Awakens title, I think is going to mean something. I don't think it's just, hey, it's a reboot or a redone. No, I think it means something. This question, what gender is Puar? A lot of people say a lot of different things. Well, a lot of people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Puar has always and will always be a male. Why do people think Puar is a female? Well, Puar, first of all, has a feminine voice. And second of all, in the Funimation dub, Roshi refers to her as a she. This is wrong. Another dub mistake. Puar is a male. Deal with it. Can't stand fucking dub mistakes that are still prevalent to this day. But that's why I'm here. Mike Duke, have you ever watched Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple? And if so, what do you think about it? Never watched it. Maybe I'll check it out. Undertaker versus Sting dream match. Who would win? From LVOOT Boateng. I think Undertaker would probably win, bro, honestly. I mean, it's WWE, bro. Triple H had to win, so of course fucking Taker's going to win. Kid Goku or adult Goku in terms of character development, who is better? From Travis John. Great question, because it seems like adult Goku is kind of going through the same development that Kid Goku went through. You know, obviously in the first story arc of Dragon Ball, when he's, you know, being trained by Roshi and when he's with Roshi and fighting Roshi, you know, the whole lesson that Goku learned was, you know, don't get overconfident. There's always somebody better than you. And it looks like in Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F and in Battle of Gods, he's overconfident. You know, he thinks that Beerus is going to be a walk in the park, and he wasn't. And he fights Frieza, lets his guard down, and gets shot to the chest. Why is adult Goku learning the same lessons that Kid Goku already learned? It kind of bugs me. So I would say Kid Goku because he did it first. Dragon Ball has a shit ton of great character development, which is why I say it time and time and time again, if you haven't seen Dragon Ball, you haven't seen the entire series, no matter what. And that's unarguable. Do you think Champa's Whis person is as strong as Whis? Yes, I do. I think anybody who looks like that is. Do you think the tree from the Tree of Might would have made for a good saga in the series? From Bill Williams. Yes, I do think that. I actually did a video, Dragon Ball In-Depth 18, about the Tree of Might, and I pretty much gushed over how much I love the concept of the Tree of Godly Might. So yeah, that would have been awesome. And of course, little tidbit here, folks. Back in the 90s during the Ocean Dub era, they did take the Tree of Might movie and chop it up into 3 episodes and air it on syndication. So a lot of people actually did assume for a long time that the Tree of Might was a saga. It's not. But it's just one of those rare tidbits that unless you were around back then, you probably don't remember. What if a villain in DBS kills Videl, Pan equals dead, and Gohan goes berserk and becomes an SSG, SS2? I know that's quite dark for DBS, but maybe. I may have answered this already. It's extremely dark, bro. And no, I don't want to see a miscarriage or I don't want to see a fetus die in Dragon Ball. I don't want to see this. It's just not. I don't want to see it. And SSG, SS2, there's no such thing as that right now, man. You're just making forms up, and people need to stop with this whole making forms up thing. It's some swaggy sauger. There's no such thing. I mean, if you're talking about, like, you know, maybe some new form, maybe, but in order to unlock God power, you had to do the ritual. So Gohan would have had to have done the ritual first. So I don't want to see miscarriages and shit, man. I really don't. All right. Yo, remember the name Den10310 when you become a big guy on YouTube? I love your channel. Well, thank you, Den. I appreciate that. Den's got a few questions here. I don't know if I'm going to answer all of them right now, but we'll get to them, I promise. Does Mr. Popo's magic carpet teleport, or does he just move really fast? He moves really fast. I've never seen it actually teleport. Do you like Tupac? Yes. Could Vegeta have damaged Android 18 with the Final Flash? Absolutely. Bill Williams again, without question. The Final Flash is extremely powerful. Even Cell freaked out when he was about to get hit by it. That thing is ridiculously powerful. But of course, remember, we're talking about a different Vegeta. Vegeta before the Room of Spirit and Time, him doing the Final Flash wouldn't have been anywhere near as ridiculously strong as Vegeta after the Room of Spirit and Time when he was overpowered after unlocking the Grade 2 form, aka Ascended Saiyan in the dub. Zachariah Naji, Do you think Goku will surpass Whis at the end of Super? I don't think so, honestly, but a lot of fans do, and therefore, it's possible. I mean, because just Goku always surpasses everybody, but I don't know. I don't think so. Nightmare 1412. Is Whis a girl? No, but there is a girl version of Whis who's with Champa. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. What is your favorite DBZ abridged episode? I don't have a favorite episode. I like it all. It's hard for me to pick a favorite episode. They're all good. I don't understand. Why did Goku and Gohan choose to be Super Saiyans all the time when they were training in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber? Nightmare again. This is explained in the series, and it's explained in my video. Check out Dragon Ball in depth on the Super Saiyan transformations. Basically, Goku learned and figured out, and I mentioned this earlier in this video about what the smartest thing he did, that if they stayed in their SSJ forms as if they were their base forms at all times, they could then get their bodies accustomed to being in that form, so that way it would be easier to unlock higher and stronger levels. That is explained in the series and the manga. Definitely check out those scenes again. The episode numbers are like 170 something. It's right around that range. I don't remember exactly. Maybe 168. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Spider-Man versus SSJ4 Gogeta. This is a serious question, my friend. Well, I don't think it's very serious considering Gogeta wiped the floor with him. Mewtwo versus Frieza. Come on, bro. You know Frieza whooped that ass. If Cell hadn't interrupted Piccolo and Android 817 fight, who do you think would have won? 17 would have won because 17's ki would not have run out and Piccolo's would have. I don't remember how it was portrayed in the dub, but in the Japanese version, 17 actually says that. He's like, you're starting to lower yourself in ki. We're even, but I have unlimited ki. So 17 would have eventually won just based on the unlimited stamina. Travis John again. Hey, pal, sorry for asking a Broly question. I know it annoys you. Won't ask again. It doesn't annoy me. I don't even know what question he's talking about. But if it's if it's like Broly versus Beerus, I mean, come on, bro. Give me a break. Let's see here. I've already been doing that. Well, I mean, other than JAYAIN and the Australian girl, I mean a bunch of different tiny DBZ tubers. I have. He's talking about like other. He's talking about the question that was asked before about why don't I give other people shine, smaller DBZ. I have done that. Like I've done that for Mike from LaughingStock Media. I've done that for Hail Xeon, Frozen Particle. I've done that for a lot of people. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, you're talking about yourself, bro. If you want to get on, see, a lot of people. Me and QAAMAN talk about this. A lot of people want to do collabs with us, and that's cool. But have a topic, have something that's gonna make us interested. And I don't like, and QAAMAN won't admit this, but fuck it, I'll tell you. Him and I don't like it when people like, hey, QAAMAN, give me a shout out. Why? Like, why should you get a shout out above everybody else? You know how many people ask us for shout outs? He gets way more than I do. He's been around longer. He's got more subs. But I mean, why? Like, give me something that's going to salivate me. Give me a topic. Give me something that makes me think, okay, this guy knows his shit. I want to do a video with him. Not just, hey, we should do a video, man. I think you're cool. Everybody says that, I'm just saying, like, I'm down to do collabs. Just give me something good, And then now, if you've sent me a collab request and we haven't done one yet, that does not mean I don't think your ideas are good. It just means that maybe I'm busy, and I am very, very busy. That's one thing I will say, and I don't just say that to, say it. I have a full-time job. I do YouTube, almost daily uploads, sometimes more than one a day. And I got a relationship I have to hold up, and I got other businesses and websites to run and podcasts. So I'm always busy, but it is possible. It definitely is possible. Do you think every universe has a giant Dragon Ball each? No, but maybe we'll find out. What do you got against Hispaniola, man? You guys called it less credible land. What do you got against Hispaniola? I don't know what you mean by Hispaniola, but if you're talking about the Latin American Dragon Ball community, and I am a Latin American. This is not a racist thing because that's what I am, bro. They always spread misinformation. Not all of them, but there's a big chunk that do. And it pisses me off. And then the Americans get a hold of it, and there's confusion. Right here, see, can you do a series? This is a question I already answered. Let's see. This is a good question from Den10310. What if Vegeta stopped being salty and just trained with Goku in the Room of Spirit and Time, and during the Android Saga, how powerful would they be? I think they could be very strong Super Saiyan 2s, and who knows, maybe Goten would have been born as J2. Well, I don't know about the Goten one, but I think you're spot on. I think that because Goku had to hold back against his son, and he did for a while, not the whole time, but he did, I think it slowed down his training. I think that if Vegeta and Goku would have gone to the Room of Spirit and Time, I do believe, with it beyond a shadow of a doubt, that they would have unlocked SSJ2. I really think so. The rate those guys train, the intensity, the desire they have to fight, without question, they would have unlocked SSJ2 and murdered just about anybody in the series. So I agree with you. I agree. Last question on this short Q&A here. After watching Goten and Trunks fight 18, I would say SSJ Goten and Trunks would be around the same level as 17 and 18. 17 would be the strongest, then SSJ Trunks, then 18, then Goten. I think flip them. I think 17, then 18, then Trunks and Goten. That's what I think, because I just cannot see Trunks and Goten singular, like individually being able to fuck with 17 and 18 at all after what 18 did in Dragon Ball Z earlier with Vegeta. I just don't see it happening. I think they're kids. They have the multiplier, but they're not as strong as a full-grown male who has the multiplier, point blank. So 17, 18, then Trunks, then Goten. Anyways, that's it for this brief Q&A here. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll be back next week with another one, probably a little bit longer, and I will start from the bottom and work my way up. But hey, maybe I'll just jump around too. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and I hope y'all have a great day and a great weekend, and I'll catch your asses down the road.